Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Live from Lincolnwood, Illinois. Rabbi Isai, a phenomenal daf today. Geshmak, we're holding, can't believe it, we're holding by the Mishnah. Just a few days ago, we're behind. Now we're where we need to be. We have some agadata, Geshmak stuff. Shachad v'lei kisa. So we mentioned this halacha, that the kisi adam is not dependent on the shaykhid only. It's every person in Klal Yisrael has a chiyuv to do kisi adam. If you walk by blood that wasn't covered, the blood that mechuyev to cover, like that of a chay and a oif, then you should cover it. V'ro acher chayav lechasos, you must cover it. Kiso v'nizgalo, if you covered the blood and it became uncovered, patur melechasos. So what the Mishnah is teaching us here is that it's not a constant mitzvah. It's a one-time thing. And if you cover the blood, it's not like it's mechuyev to have this thing covered forever and ever. It's not like a burial. But if you cover it once, even if it becomes uncovered here we have a video. Favas nisht. It's a oif, you can see, it's a chicken. That's Reb Amitai David. So he covered it and became uncovered. You're not mechuyev. Kiso ruach. Here we go. We have another one. If the wind comes and covers it, as the Gemara is going to explain, it's very nice in the video. The Gemara explains that it was uncovered. First it was covered and then it was uncovered. Now you mechuyev chayev lechasis. Kiso ruach. You have to stick in that explanation, right? Because it doesn't say in the Mishnah. It just says two words. Kiso ruach, the wind covered it. But there's a continuation, and then it became uncovered, so you mechuyev to cover it. So that's a nice chiddush. Because we said a minute ago that if you cover the blood, even if it became uncovered, you don't have to cover it again. But if the wind covered it, you don't have to cover it. But if it became uncovered, then you have to cover it. Tana Rabbanan, how do we know all this? The original mitzvah is on the person that spills the blood on the floor, the shaychet. Shachad v'lo kisa. But if he didn't do so, v'ro acher, and somebody else saw minayin shachad v'chasas, how do I know that there's a mitzvah on every single person in Klal Yisrael to cover? Shenema v'oimer levnei Yisrael. Here's the pasuk. Ki nefesh kol basar dome b'nafshehu v'oimer levnei Yisrael dam kol. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, I told all of Klal Yisrael. Zechiyuv azar l'kol b'nei Yisrael. Tanya idach v'shavach v'chisa. Listen to this. It's a mefurish pasuk in Kisi Adam, not in Lulav, not in any other mitzvah. This obscure mitzvah that hardly anybody's mekayim this mitzvah, that's where it says this big yisoid. What did you spill the blood with? With your hand. So cover it with your hand. You shouldn't cover it with your foot. You shouldn't disrespect the mitzvah the way you treat a mitzvah. Somebody says, so he pushed the chumash with his foot. So he said, no. There's I've seen people put their tefillin on the floor, so shlo you mitzvahs bezuyis olav. But where does it say in halacha? Does it say in halacha you shouldn't put it on the floor? Gotta treat with respect. Something you wouldn't do for the president, don't do for the mitzvah. Tanya yidach. The person that I can learn from this pasuk, not the idea that you shouldn't be mevayish the mitzvah, but the shaychet who created the mess with the blood, he's the one that has to cover the blood. Maisa, listen to this. This is unbelievable. Maisa be'echad. Here goes story time. Story, sheshachad v'kadim chaveri v'kisa. The shaychet, Ruvain, he did the shchita. Comes Shimon and jumps in. Al kisi adam. He covers the blood. Shimon. He stole his mitzvah, so Reb Gamliel said you have to pay up. Now 10 zehuvim is a lot of money. A lot. Something that you can live off for a year. And maybe even more. What did he steal? What is he paying the 10 for? Is it the mitzvah or the bracha that he stole? What's the difference? The birkas hamazon. If somebody stole somebody's birkas hamazon, the whole entire birkas hamazon is one mitzvah. But if it goes by the brachas, having arbain, there's 4 brachas in birkas hamazon, he should have to pay 40. What's the halacha? Tashma. So here we continue with that gadata. The Kover tells Rebbe, Mi shiyotzar harim lebara ruach. The Rebbeinu Shalom who created the mountains, he didn't create the wind. Umi shebara ruach lo yotzar harim. T'chsev, I'll prove it to you from the pasuk. Ki hine yotzar harim. He fashioned the mountains. Uvayre ruach. It's two different beings. He says to Rebbe. There's a yoitzer and there's a boire. You can say every day, yoitzer, oyer, boire, choshech. What was the word over there? That, you had to create, yoitzer, uvoire, I forgot the word already. They're different, yoitzer, uvoire. But over here, it seems like there's 2 entities. One created the mountains, one created the wind. Omar lei, shoita. Shapila say for the crow, you forget in the same pasuk. This is the answer to what you said. Hashem tzvakoi shemai. It says in the pasuk all the way at the end. It says His name one in singular. Hashem tzvakoi shemai. So Rebbe got this guy real good. Omar lei. So the Apikoros tells Rebbe, I need 3 days to think about this. I'm going to come back with a good question. Yosef Rebbe Tlas Taniso Ki have a kaboyi, and he sat and he fasted 3 days. To me, it's fascinating. I'm not exactly sure what Rebbe was concerned. So you come back and okay, so he'll get him back again. Rebbe didn't want him to come back with a good answer. He didn't want him to come back. So he fasted for 3 days straight. Ki have a kaboyi mivra, when he wanted to break his fast, Omrulei mina koya bava. There's an apikoros by the door. I guess they all look the same. A min had a special hat, a special look of a min. Omar v'yidnu b'varusi roish. What? Now I'm trying to break my fast. This is the last thing I'm thinking about right now is a min, an apikoros at the door. What is he going to do? He's going to put some bitter stuff in my food. Okay. So the min comes in. Omar Loi, Rebbe, mevasta toivus anilach. I'm here to give you great news. What happened? That first min, it's not me. I'm a different guy. I'm his friend. The original guy couldn't find the good answer to your bomb question. He jumped off the roof and he died. So now Rebbe is very appreciative of this min that came to give him the great news. But look how it worked out. Rebbe fasts for 3 days. Exactly at the moment that he's breaking his fast, boom, the good news comes in. The guy's dead. Omar lo, maybe you want to sit down and have a meal with me? Omar lo, so the min says yes. Rebbe wanted him out of there. He says, listen, you want a bench or let me just give you 40 zuhuvim. Now we know Rebbe was the wealthiest person in his generation. He had a lot of money. 40 zuhuvim. This is like 5 years worth of salary. Let me pay you off so I don't have to suffer this, a min giving a bracha here in my house. No way. It's 250 zuzim. It's a lot of money. What is it? You need 200 something a year. B'kitzur, ksuba, it's a lot of money. So, the Rebbe didn't want him to bench. He's a min. So the Rebbe's like, let me pay you off. I don't want your money. I want to make the bracha right here. A heavenly voice came out and said, you hear this? It's unbelievable. So what do you see from here? To benching, what is it worth in money, in dollars? It's worth 40 golden coins each time you bench. So the next time we bench, Instead of, or like, I don't want to wash, because if I'm going to wash, I'm going to do this. It's 40 zuhuvim. It's a different way to look at it. It's a different cook. Omer Rabbi Yitzchak, Adayin yeshna la'isa mishpacha ben g'doili roimi. V'koyin oisa mishpachas bar liyanus. V'koyin oisa mishpachas bar liyanus. You should know that this min, he was zoicha to gdula. He was zoicha that his family lived many years in Rome, and they were known as bar liyanus. Not that they're good people or anything, but they lived. Okay, next sugya. Kisov in his gallo. We saw in the Mishnah that if you cover the blood, you cover the blood, and then it gets uncovered. When it comes to Hashavas Aveda, here, check this out. I think this is an older video, but this is the same animal, okay? Don't get confused. It's the same exact animal. If the animal gets loose, you're mechuyev to bring it back. Even 100 times. Okay? So he says, how come when the wind covers it and it gets uncovered, you don't have to cover it again? And how come by Hashavas Aveda you have to return it 100 times in a row? And over here it says v'chiso. So okay, so covered 100 times. Over there, doesn't like siv miyuta. Over there by Hashavas Aveda, there's no miyut, there's no something to diminish it. Hachaksiv miyuta. It says v'chisahu. One time, you cover it once, that's it. Kisah ruach. So that I mentioned in the Mishnah already when we were reading it, to remind Olam. So now it's chazarah. If the wind covers it, you have to cover it again. Says the Gemara, no, you don't have to cover it again. Only shechazar elo lishoro shechazar ben isgala. If it became uncovered, then you have to cover it again. Avali chazar ben isgala, palim l'chazos. But if it didn't become uncovered, the wind covered it to begin with here. So let's see the video again. Now that we saw the Gemara inside, let's see this one more time. If the wind comes and covers it, that's fine. Right over here, it's fine. The problem is when the wind uncovers it again, now you mechuyev to cover it. Ask the Gemara, so we have a famous concept in Shas, Dichoy. What does Dichoy mean? Let's say you brought a carbon to the Beis Hamikdash, they shechted it, and the Mizbeach has a problem. One brick fell off the Mizbeach. There's a crack in the Mizbeach. It's missing a little piece. What do you do? Why are you shaking your head? Good. Oh, you're saying it's not good. Okay, I thought you didn't like the whole thing. Yes, it's not good. What does it mean it's not good? Your carbon is no good. So then they bring the fixer man, and he comes and he puts the plaster on, and he fixes the Mizbeach. No, you can't bring this carbon. Why? Dochui. Since it was pushed off, even for a moment, even though now, whatever reason why you couldn't bring it, now that reason went away, you can't bring it. Ask the Gemara the same question when it comes to Kisei Adam. For a moment, the blood was covered, the wind came and covered it. So, now it was uncovered. Too late. The mitzvah is gone. You can't redo something once it's gone. Says the Gemara, Amar Papa Zaysemeres Ein Dichoy Mitzvahs. You see from here that yes, it's true when it comes to a carbon, you can push off a carbon forever, but not by a mitzvah. If the mitzvah comes back, then you are mechuyev to do Kisei Adam. So the Gemara, how come when the wind comes in, covers it, and then uncovers it, mechuyev to cover it. But when you shecht an animal and the blood gets absorbed in the ground, you're chayiv to cover it. Chayiv l'chasis. Says the Gemara, no. Over there, hazam shumi nikar. Because you can see it. So if you see it, you're mechuyev to mechasa. But if the wind comes and covers it, now you're not mechuyev to cover it. Says the Hilgi Mishnah, Nidam shenisariv b'mayim. Oh. So, im yesh b'y maris dam chayiv l'chasis. If blood gets mixed into the water, so it depends what the water looks like. If the water looks like blood, you mechuyev to cover it. So here, do this. This is a cup of blood. I should really move my Gemara. Hold on a second. Cover my Gemara. Okay. So this is blood and this is water. I'm going to put a little bit of blood into the water. Oy, maybe it's too much. You can kind of see a little tint. I'm going to put another tablespoon. You need 2 tablespoons of blood. That's what it came out now. You saw that? Now it looks like blood. So what's the halacha? So now we know the measurement. The measurement is 2 tablespoons, let's say. Stop for argument's sake. 2 tablespoons per glass. Okay. So now that we know that, says the Gemara, it depends how much water, what the ratio to the blood is. If it's a cup of water and there's 2 tablespoons of blood, you mechuyev to cover it, whatever the ratio is. Now, what if nisar v'yayin here? So now we have the same thing. This is wine. It's good stuff, really good stuff. What if you take blood and you mix it in wine? The problem is nothing changed. It's the same color. It's the same color as before. Here, I'm going to pour in even more. What's the difference? Yeah, I'll drink it. Let me see if the blood tastes good. So what do? Says the Gemara, it's the same ratio. The Mishnah says the same ratio as this, as the water in the blood. You're right, you'll never be able to see the blood in the wine because it's the same color. They're both red. So what do? You pretend that the wine that you poured it into is water. And what do we say? We have a cup of water, it's 2 tablespoons of blood. So it's the same ratio. You have a cup of wine, 2 tablespoons of blood, that's going to be the amount that you're mechuyev now to do kisei adam. You just pretend wine is water. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it looks like now. Chazarah b'dam habehema. Daf peizayin. Oh, look, short daf. Short almond. Chazarah b'dam habehema or b'dam achaya. Now, chaya, Rabbi say, chaya, you mechuyev to do kisei adam. So what does it mean that it got mixed in with the blood of a chaya? Chaya, you have to do kisei adam. Yeah, but it's blood, not from a shchita. Blood from hakaza, says Rashi, from bloodletting, not from shchita. So what do? Again, once again, if the chaya blood from shchita gets mixed in with behema blood you're not mechuyev to cover. So you pretend that the behema blood is water. If it is a cup of behema blood and more than 2 tablespoons of chaya blood, now you're mechuyev to do kisei adam. So the famous, we're not going to get into it, don't have any trauma, but min b'minoi loy batel. Remember, if it's the same min, one blood cannot become batel in another blood. In other words, even if you have 1 drop of blood in behema blood, you have 25 gallons of behema blood, and 1 tiny drop of chaya blood, you mechuyev to do kisei adam. Why? Because min b'minoi loy batel. If you have blood on a knife or blood that sprayed fire, you have to cover it. Now Rabbi Yehuda is only explaining. What does it mean? You have to cover it. There's no other blood to do kisei adam. Only the blood on the knife. So now remember we had a halacha megarer. You shave off the blood from the knife. You scrape it off. Scrape it off and you do kisei adam. Why? Because there's no other blood. If there's other blood besides the blood of the knife on the floor, you don't have to do kisei adam. That would be very annoying if you have to do kisei adam, blood on a shchita knife. The shaykhel would have to sit there and cover and scrape. No, not necessary. Not also dam shenisar b'mayim. So we have the same halacha basically when it comes to the blood that you're supposed to sprinkle on the mizbeach. If the blood that you're supposed to sprinkle on the mizbeach got mixed in with water, are you allowed to continue sprinkling it on the mizbeach? Depends. If it looks like blood, great. So here, this cup right over here looks like blood a little bit. So you're allowed to sprinkle it on the mizbeach. What if it got mixed in with the wine? You know, the Beis Hamikdash had wine. It got mixed in with wine. Now, blood and wine are the same color. So are you allowed to sprinkle this mixture onto the mizbeach? Once again, it depends. If the mixture is, let's say, 2 tablespoons of blood got mixed into a cup of wine, then you'd be allowed to sprinkle it on the mizbeach. Nisar v'dam behema. If it got mixed with blood of a mundane animal, not a carbon animal, oy v'dam achaya, there was blood of a wild deer in the Beis Hamikdash. Now, blood of a deer you're not supposed to put on the mizbeach. It's not a carbon. So what do you do? Again, once again, if there's that ratio, let's say 2 tablespoons to 1 cup of deer blood, then it will be okay to spray on the mizbeach. No, one blood cannot be mevatel another blood, so you don't need 2 tablespoons. Even 1 drop of kosher blood in the whole mixture is enough to sprinkle it on the mizbeach. It's only when it goes one way, when the water falls into the blood. Like in this picture right over here, we say rishon batel. What does rishon batel mean? Take a look. Each drop that falls into the water becomes batel on the spot. It's a very minute amount. So yes, you have, at the end of the day, I have 1,000 drops of blood, but each one, as it enters the water, becomes batel and mevatel. Let's say this exact same thing happened. You have 1 drop fall into water, another drop fall into water. Do I have to cover it? Yes. Why? Because we have a concept called, anybody know the concept? No, we're saying the fakert. Oh, indichun mitzvah here, but each one became batel. How could it go back and become the right amount? Each drop becomes batel in the water. So at the end of the day, you have 100 drops. So there's something called niur. They wake up. Chayzer niur, exactly. Yeah, I have to remember to do it again. I used to do musagei hashas. Got to get back into it. Forgot for a long time. Chayzer niur, they awaken. Yes, each one by itself is nothing, but all of a sudden when you have 100, they all get together and they become a union. Mamish like a union. They fight you. They wake up. They have an awakening. Oh. So he does use your lashon that you said, that one. Because you can't push over mitzvah. And now you have the right amount. So now, chayz v'nir. Says Shmuel, anytime you have some sort of like it's a little bit of red, it's not red, but it's a little bit of red, so you can do 3 things with it. First of all, in the halacha of kapara on the mizbeach, I could sprinkle it onto the mizbeach. The halacha of machshirin, we're going to get into in a second. The chayav and mekisu, it's still considered blood that you have to do kisei dam. Why are you telling me this? Mechaprim tanina. That we said, we just brought the Mishnah in Zvachim that you're allowed to sprinkle such blood on the mizbeach. Chayav and bekisu, that's our Mishnah that you have to do kisei dam tanina. Says Gemara machshirin tzricha. Now, what's machshirin? Something called machshel kabel tuma. In order for fruit or food to become tamei, when let's say a dead mouse touches them, they have to become. You know machshel kabel tuma? Oh, you do know, huh?
See what?
Oh, so what's pshat? Machshirin tzricha. I need to tell you the halacha of machshel kabel tuma. Now, blood is one of the 7 liquids that they could get wet a fruit, and now the fruit becomes tamei. Water, obviously, is one of the 7. What's the difference between water and all the other 7 things? All the other 6, 5. Water and tal, you need to say, I want the water, I need the water, I want the water. Other liquids, you don't need to say it. It's juices, honey, you don't need to say it. They're, by themselves, they become the mukshal kabel tuma. So, machshir nami, says the Gemara, idam, I don't understand. If you consider this mixture, you have a mixture now. You have water and blood together. If it's blood, it's one of the 7 mashkim, it's machshir kabel tuma. Idam shumachshir. Imayok shumachshir. And if it's water, it's one of the 7 liquids. So what's the problem? the mixture happened. You mixed rainwater with blood. Now, since I'm going to consider it blood, then it's machshel kabel tuma. Why? Because blood, you don't need ratzah. You don't need the owner to decide, oh, I want it. Water you do. So that's the chiddush. Since I have water and I have blood, I'm going to consider it blood, not water, and I don't need the das of the owner. As the Gemara, but you made that mixture, so that means you want the water. No, you didn't want it; it happened by itself. Says the Gemara, when blood congeals, there's a certain serum or a certain part of it that is what's the word? It doesn't look like blood. It's not red. It's more like water, like yellowish, whitish. It doesn't look like. That's why he showed it. Very good. This, you see how when it congeals, it becomes this color right over there. Oh, perfect. That's why he put it there. Geval. Thank you, Mark. So he says, "B'tzalalta dedama." We're talking about the yellow part of the blood, and that's the chiddush that yellow. That part is machshel kabel tuma. If you drink the yellow, you get karas. You need to have a kazayis of this stuff. Tumas oil is this. If you bring a dead person into a room, so the entire room becomes tamei. And if you bring blood, same thing. If you bring this talalta, the yellow stuff, so the whole room becomes tamei. We're going to have to go back anyway. But let's say a woman who dies and she has milk that comes out of her afterwards. So it says it's tar. The only liquid that comes out of a dead person that's tamei is blood. And anything that looks a little reddish gives off the tumas oil. Fine, we'll stop here. It goes into another sugya. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Yishkoyach for coming.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shiur today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.